The night he returned, the drums did not welcome him. They warned us. And the woman beside him, she never blinked. Hello, friends. Before we continue, welcome to Tales Under the Baobab. You are now under the baobab, where every story carries a lesson. If this kind of story speaks to you, like, comment, and subscribe to stay with us. Now, let me take you back to where it all began. In our village of Umudara, where the baobab tree stood older than memory itself, we believed that love was sacred and promises were not to be broken. But that was before Chike came back, before the night the wind refused to blow, before the woman with the silent eyes stepped into our land, and everything changed. Chike was not always a man people feared. No, once he was the boy every mother pointed to and said, "Be like him." Tall, strong, gentle, he had a smile that could calm a crying child and hands that worked harder than most men twice his age. But Chike had a flaw, a quiet one that hid beneath his kindness like a snake in tall grass. He feared poverty more than he feared losing people, and that fear would cost him everything. There was a girl. Her name was Amara. If you ever saw her, you would understand why the moon sometimes delayed its rise just to watch her walk. She was not the richest, not the loudest, not the most powerful, but her heart was something even the elders respected. Amara loved Chike before he even knew what love meant, and when he finally did, it was her name he whispered under the baobab. "I will return for you," he once told her, holding her hand tightly, "no matter where life takes me." Amara smiled. She believed him. That was her first mistake. Life in Umudara was simple. Mornings smelt of roasted yam and palm oil. Children ran barefoot through red dust paths. Women sang as they fetched water from the river. And every evening, the elders gathered beneath the baobab tree, sharing stories of spirits, ancestors, and forgotten warnings. One of those warnings was about the forest. No one entered the Ajo forest after sunset. No one. Because the forest did not belong to us. It belonged to something older, something patient, something that listened. But Chike did not believe in such things. Or perhaps he simply did not care. Because when the traders from the city came, speaking of wealth, gold, and opportunity, something inside him changed. "I cannot remain poor forever," he told Amara one evening. "I will go to the city, I will make money, then I will come back for you." Amara hesitated. "The city changes people," she said softly. Chike laughed. "Not me." But that was just the beginning. The day he left, the sky was unusually quiet. No birds, no wind. Even the baobab tree seemed to stand still, as if watching him go. Amara ran after him at the edge of the village. "Promise me," she said, her voice trembling. "Promise me you will not forget who you are." Chike cupped her face gently. "I promise." And then he left. At first, his letters came often. Stories of hard work, struggles, small successes, then bigger ones, then silence. Weeks turned into months, months into years, and the silence grew heavier. Amara waited, even when others whispered, even when her parents begged her to move on, even when another man came with gifts ready to marry her. She refused. "Chike will return," she said. But sometimes, late at night, she would sit under the baobab tree and ask herself a question she was too afraid to answer. What if he doesn't? Then one evening, he returned. The drums began first, but not the joyful kind. No, these drums were slow, uneasy, like a heartbeat that didn't trust itself. People gathered, children climbed rooftops, women whispered, men frowned, because something felt wrong. Chike stepped into the village wearing clothes richer than any we had ever seen. Gold rings, fine sandals, confidence in his stride. He had become everything he once dreamed of. But his eyes were colder, distant, as if he had left part of himself somewhere far away, and beside him was a woman. She was beautiful, but not in a way that brought comfort. Her skin was too smooth, her smile too perfect, her eyes too still. She did not greet anyone, did not bow to the elders, did not even blink. "Who is she?" someone whispered. Chike smiled. "This is my wife." The air changed, just like that. Amara stood frozen, her world shattered in silence. "You promised," she whispered, but Chike did not look at her, not even once. That night, no one slept peacefully. Dogs howled, the wind stopped, and from the direction of Chike's new compound, some said they heard whispers. At first, people tried to accept it. After all, men returned from the city with new lives all the time. But something about this woman did not sit right. She never ate in public, never fetched water, never joined the women, never spoke unless spoken to. And even when she did, her voice was strange, soft but hollow, like an echo from a place too far away. "Who is her name?" an elder once asked. Chike hesitated, then said, "Adanze." But when the elder repeated the name, the wind suddenly rose and the baobab tree creaked loudly as if rejecting it. That was when the fear began. Children started having nightmares. Men claimed to see shadows moving where there should be none. And one night, a goat was found dead. Not eaten, not attacked, just lifeless, eyes wide open. "What is happening to our village?" the people asked, but no one had answers, except Amara, because one night she followed them. She waited until the moon was high, then quietly walked toward Chike's compound. Her heart pounded, her breath shallow, but something stronger than fear pushed her forward, something she could not explain. As she got closer, she heard it. Whispers, not one, many, layered, overlapping, like voices trapped in a single throat. She peered through the window, and what she saw would change everything. Adanze stood in the center of the room, but she was not alone. Her shadow moved differently. It stretched across the wall, twisting, growing, until it no longer looked human. Amara gasped, and in that moment, Adanze stopped. Slowly she turned. Their eyes met, and for the first time, Adanze smiled. But it was not the smile of a woman, it was the smile of something that had been waiting. What happened next still haunts me. Amara ran. She didn't stop, didn't look back, didn't breathe until she reached the baobab tree. The elders were already there, waiting. "We know what you saw," the oldest among them said. Amara trembled. "She's not human." The elder nodded slowly. "She is not." Silence fell, heavy, final. "Then what is she?" Amara whispered. The elder's voice dropped. "She is a spirit bound by desire." And that was the twist no one expected. Long ago, there were spirits who fed not of flesh, but of ambition. They watch men who hunger for wealth, who are willing to sacrifice anything. And when they find one, they make a deal. Amara's heart sank. "Chike?" "Yes," the elder said. "He did not just return rich, he returned owned." The truth spread quietly, like fire beneath dry leaves. Chike had not simply married a woman, he had made a pact. And now the spirit had followed him home. The consequences came quickly. More animals died, children fell sick, nightmares turned into screams, and every night the whispers grew louder. Chike began to change. He spoke less, slept less, ate less. His body remained strong, but his eyes looked like a man slowly disappearing. Amara went to him one last time. "Leave him," she begged. "This is not the life you promised." Chike looked at her, and for a brief moment, the old Chike returned. "I didn't know," he whispered. "I thought I could control it." But then Adanze appeared behind him, and the moment shattered.
"You belong to me," she said softly. Chike froze, and that was when Amara understood. This was no longer about love, it was about survival. The elders made a decision. She must be sent back. But such things come with a price. The ritual began at midnight. The entire village gathered, torches lit, drums beating, voices chanting. Adanze stood in the center, calm, unmoved. "Release him," the elder commanded. She smiled. "He invited me," she said. "I only accepted." The wind rose violently. Trees shook. Dust filled the air. Chike screamed. And then everything went silent. For one moment, time stopped. And then the spirit revealed itself. No longer beautiful, no longer human,
Something ancient, something hungry, something real. The villagers fell back in fear, but the elders did not move. They continued the chant, and slowly the spirit began to weaken, until it turned to Chike. "If I go," it whispered, "you go with me." The final choice. Chike looked at Amara, tears in his eyes. "I'm sorry," he said. And then he stepped forward. The spirit smiled, and in a flash of wind and dust, they were gone. Just like that. Silence returned, but the village was never the same. Amara never married, not because she couldn't, but because part of her heart left that night. The baobab tree still stands, but sometimes, on quiet nights, you can hear whispers in the wind. And if you listen closely, you might hear a voice calling a name. A name that once belonged to a man who feared poverty more than he feared losing himself. I didn't understand it then, but I do now. Not every blessing is from God, and not every opportunity should be taken, because some doors do not lead forward. They lead somewhere you cannot return from. If this story taught you something, don't forget to subscribe to Tales Under Baobab.